Hello everyone, Allie here, and welcome to the Gold Mine. Thank you for joining me here on another episode at Allie's Treasure Trove. Of course, we are continuing our Allie Plays August Takeover with episode 3 here of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are just about to head into the third part of Trial 1, of course that tutorial trial at the beginning of the game. I'm assuming, based on previous links in other games of Ace Attorney that I've played, which have been all of them that have been released in the United States, we should probably be finishing up this first trial here today. Now, I am very excited to find out what's going on here in full. Now, I feel like I did predict a little bit the fact that Dr. Wilson ended up dying from poison instead of the gunshot wound, but I'm still not certain how Giselle Brett was able to kill him. Now, my theory that I came up with at the end of episode 2 was perhaps she poisoned the glass in particular, and that is why she took the glass with her, but I'm not sure what's truly going on here, because of course he did have a wound in the chest. I'm still not 100% sold that it was a gunshot wound, as you'd think in that close range it would have went through him, but of course the evidence does state that it's in his chest, it didn't go all the way through, so it did not have an exit wound, which if he was shot very close, that wouldn't be the case. So then the thing is, though, how did he get injured in the restaurant? And if he wasn't actually injured in the restaurant, what happened? I mean, I was thinking maybe he got shot before, but that wouldn't make sense at all because, of course, we do know that Ryunosuke did talk to him for a little bit, and then before he left, he went to go say something again, being like, yo, bro, you dropped your gun on the floor. That's a little weird. But instead of just saying anything to him, he actually picked it up, which he fell into the trap, I guess, of Miss Giselle Brett. So, I'm very curious to discover the truth here. So let's get started. 22nd of November, 1:14 p.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, courtroom number 2. All right, Susato, excuse me, just ran in here carrying something, some sort of wrap that I don't remember the name. So let's see what's up here.
Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha! A judicial assistant and a woman, no less.
Bro, you like the other girl so much.
The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
Well, that's a bit rude. That's a bit rude. Ouchie.
Yes, I fully understand. I only asked for 5 minutes of time.
I also had to double check before you got started what voice I picked for Susato. And I think listening to it back a few times, this is what I was aiming for. I do believe I kind of flip-flopped on Giselle Brett a lot, but we'll see what I settle on here.
I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
Well, technically not.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency! I am most grateful.
She's so cute. Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something, written in English? Is this her failing grade? Giselle Brett failing grade? Is this her motive?
It's Giselle Brett's research.
The English woman's?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper.
You stole it. Susato, you stole it. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case?
I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of Curare and its effect on human subjects. Interesting. I don't know what that is. Oh, good thing Ryunosuke's asking for me. Curare? What's that? I've never heard that word before. Same.
Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
This is wonderful. Thank you. A report has been added to the court record. Report detailing an unknown poison that Ms. Bratz has been researching. Makes sense.
Your
Goodbye then, and good luck.
You have had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer.
Warner, take that mask off, man.
I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Minosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. I'm sitting here and I don't know what it is, but I've been really congested these past few days, and just attempting to do the ouchie voice to me sounds completely different. So I hope it's close to what I've been doing in the other 2 episodes. I wanted to film this episode on Sunday as well, but I didn't have the chance. So I'm going to try and film 2 episodes here on Monday. And I don't know, the ouchie sounds so weird. All the voices sound really different in my head. Definitely had some congestion clear up today, so most likely sound a bit different to you all as well. But hopefully everything's still sounding pretty good. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence.
That look! The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brent?
Yes, Your Excellency. That was not right. That was not the right voice at all.
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time.
I'll have to politely decline. No, you can't leave. That was not a request.
Forgive me, Miss Brent. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, there's only one right answer. I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Gisele's reports.
Yes!
Present that.
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you are studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
There we go. I just need to do a very in-character scream.
Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel?
A toxin known as Cure, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death. Okay, so he did die, like, immediately, right away.
Objection!
He touched that cup, gone skis.
What? What complete and utter nonsense! Cure, you say? I've never even heard of it!
You wouldn't have done. What? I too am being bamboozled by the Japanese language, I assume.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Cure before, for one very simple reason. She invented it. It doesn't exist in our country. Or close enough. Let's just say she invented it. For flavor. It doesn't exist! Ah, that's why you didn't test positive for it. Correct, which means no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify Cure. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. I paused there before the why, because I was thinking, you know, Cure sounds like Kira, as in like killer. And I was thinking about that for 5 seconds, and I was just staring at the word Y on screen, and I was like, why am I doing this?
What?
Order! 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 Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist?
According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. Oh, I've heard of that before. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. You know, thankfully Cosmo can read English. I don't think Ryunosuke could do it. He's trying, though. He's trying real hard. This shuffling animation is super clean. Looks so good. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with the curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of the so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector?
Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that the curare was used.
Explain yourself, counsel.
The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects would go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Cosmo. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Ooh, he just stopped breathing. Nice. Oof. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. Wow. That's rude. Rude AF. Even Ouchie's like, bruh, that's kind of a lot. Girl, what are you doing?
That's hideous!
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison.
And you're suggesting that this bottle, counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for the defense! If I may. All these facts! You think you're so clever? It is you who must be taught! Of course! Dear lady!
I want to see the breakdown emoji, sprite, whatever you want to call it, animation. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? That's a good question. You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them? I'm appalled! What a loathsome act! Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it! The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules!
What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me, I'm speaking in cursive again. Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
See, she's gonna chug the bottle, be like, look, bro, it's Gucci. It's fine. This isn't the cup. This isn't the cup. That's why she had to take the cup. My big brain did last episode. I knew it.
Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Sure, I guess you can, chug it. It's a little bit weird, but sure.
She is pretty smart, though, to construct this whole situation.
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys!
Wow, rude. Sorry? I thought she was gonna chug the bottle, but this works too. This is more refined. Although I would have loved it if she just grabbed it and just chugged the whole thing.
To an English woman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy.
Of course, I've seen the word farce before. Farcical. You learn something new every day.
Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end.
Cheers.
Cheers!
Yeah, take off that hat. Wait, what are you doing? Yeah, look, it's fine.
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
Goodness! Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no cure. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given.
This is looking like the ouchies for Ryunosuke here. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't have to be in the bottle. Doesn't have to be in the bottle. So how did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke, big brain. Why do I keep... My brain is just turned into predictive text. Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains no poison. Because then she would have died too, initially. As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle. What? Why, Ryunosuke? Isn't it obvious if there's poison in there, she'd be dead by now? Sometimes, your unadulterated naivety really astounds me. But sometimes, it's in need of a good staining. until it's as dark as your uniform and the ways of the world. Oh, is that what this color is supposed to represent? Oh, so there is poison in the bottle. Then she pre-drank the antidote, or did she put the antidote on the cup and that was the cup from her purse? I don't know. Maybe I thought I was taking a penalty.
That was a guileless ending to a promising line of inquiry, counsel, for which you will be penalized.
This whole trial is poisoned. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. That's probably what she was researching, the cure, right? Upon Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains poison. The culprit did put cure poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. Are you serious?
Objection!
Fool! Are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw
Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained.
how exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer's in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be.
Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
All right. Not my university pin. Can I examine this? And in minute doses. Let's keep going here. Let's examine this, see what's up. Back. No, wrong one. Still getting used to these keys. Up. We can go this way. I keep going the wrong way. I'm not used to using the WASD keys. Let's take a look at this picture. Back. Is it? I'm gonna present the bottle. No, the cup picture. And if not, I'm gonna present the booklet with her research. Not confident in this one, but I feel like it has to do with her taking the glass.
Yes!
The music didn't stop. That means it's wrong. Okay. Alright, two of these penalties are my fault. One of them was I just pressed literally the wrong button. Alright. She was probably researching an antidote.
Yes!
Alright, we got different... Wait, we got a different animation. That means I'm right. The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation!
Says who? No?
After all, we don't speak English! That report is utter gibberish! This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court! Your Excellency! Stop him! He's too smart!
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes.
I concur! This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle?
Practical applications. I'm thinking. Let's look at it again. Let me just... We're getting a little bit close to the wire here. Yeah, the synopsis. The synopsis doesn't help. Yeah, special characteristics doesn't help. Yeah, they're trying to use it as an anesthetic. That's what I'm assuming her research is, so it has to be the practical applications. Or not. It's written right here under practical applications, I think.
Oh, really? Go on.
Well, think about it. You want to know how the poison can be drunk without it taking effect? That's a practical application of, the poison's use as a drink, maybe.
Objection!
You'll have to do better than that. I shudder to think how we'll fare in the 20th century if we're led by the likes of you.
Yes. Right, not practical. Ryunosuke. What? Read properly. Ugh. You too, Kazuma, come on. Thanks for the concise advice. Something that explains how the Englishwoman could have taken Curare with no ill effects. She's a robot. We're actually playing Slay the Spire right now. She's actually a robot. I'd better reread her research paper and see if I can spot anything. Alright, back to the court record. I even double-checked. I thought I double-checked. Let's examine it. Oh, I can't read. I just can't read. I double-checked it and I can't read. It worked because he had this extraction, so he had a cut in his mouth. I am... Wow. I can't read. Wow. Well, this is embarrassing. Wow, okay. I totally did this on purpose so that we could see this extra text. I'm sorry, I can't read English. We've established that here. I'm in English classes. I can only pick out bits and pieces. I just want to risk it. We want to be risky playing with one. That's high stakes Phoenix right here. Only one penalty. I threw it on purpose. We've been hearing a lot about this Curare poison. And it's left me curious about something.
Oh, Counsel?
Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot whatever prey they're hunting.
So we've been led to believe, yes?
And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please!
Well, you don't want to eat the infected thing. That would be kind of counterintuitive. But if they were used to lace these arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't have wanted to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison.
Good gracious, Council. No, that would be madness.
But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound.
Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense.
Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. I'd say the same here, except I didn't read that the first time, apparently. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Kira enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poison effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett! You authored this research. You knew Kira's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little kids!
Scooby-Doo reference.
Oh! Rapscallion!
Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Aw, thank you, Cosmo. He's so majestic. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book.
Your book, lady, come on.
But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? She's gonna say he drank it through the mouth too. He drank it through the mouth too. Why did he die? 'Cause he had his tooth extracted. Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Kyria is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus.
No, that's not how this works. Well, maybe. Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? What are those?
So if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
Present that medical record.
That's right! Good gracious! That's basic science! Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand! No! Order! Order in the court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way.
Are you trying to suggest...
Yes! This Curie poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
She's ready to snap, bro. When's that hat gonna pop off? When's the hat gonna pop off, dude? If it doesn't, I'm gonna be so sad. What is this welling up inside me? This is the pursuit of justice. I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. You're just ready to punch holes through her entire life.
Objection!
We got our first ever objection. I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett.
How dare you use that tone with me?
You know very well that there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. love that picture.
Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the courier?
I don't even... wish I could press the right keys. WASD. D goes left. Alright. No, right. D goes right. S goes... I don't know where S goes. Let's inspect it one more time. No, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, he had a wound in the mouth. There's no way this is wrong. There's no way this is wrong. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners.
A fatal difference?
I love making that face with my glasses to make my head look weird. The toxic effects of Cure are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But, what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes. Yes! Like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. How did he get stabbed, though? Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist.
These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are also puerile. What? What do you mean? Good question, Ranosuke.
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough.
Oops. She just fled. No, she didn't flee.
You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
Oh.
I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
Oh, we can check the glass though, right?
Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible, at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You'll have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
Why did she take... I guess maybe she just straight up took the glass to hide her existence. Man, I was thinking it might have something to do with that. How could you? You won't get away with this.
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you'd like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there was really poison in the bottle or not.
You.
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady? That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using Kirare. And then, in order to frame Yunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see? You had every opportunity to commit this crime.
I mean, even though we know Ryunosuke didn't do it, it's much more plausible that Ryunosuke just straight up shot him. But we know he didn't, but... I see, especially here where there's no, like, ballistic markings and stuff to check, and it's very easy for her in general to get away with this. But we have Kazuma and Ryunosuke big brains to save us. Featuring Susato.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man! A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly! And as you had nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Nah. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really gonna get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on. There was the extra glass left over at the table. We can just go test that one. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember the last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt, every color. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Could there really be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? Oh yeah, there's a clue. Got a weird blood stain on the steak. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Nah, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all of this. It's here, somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... this weird blood stain. Right? Wait. Why is the fork not dirty? I feel like I mentioned this before. I'm gonna save the game real quick. I'm pretty sure I memed on this in episode 1. Why is the fork not dirty, but the knife was dirty? She didn't shoot him, she stabbed him. I'm presenting this.
Take that!
Take that! Music stopped. Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this! He's like, bro, that was kind of wild. Yes, what is it? Ugh, he's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Wait a minute! Where are you going with this, little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory?
I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood.
What?
She stabbed him across the table.
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, that can't be the case. 'Cause I didn't shoot him. Stupid. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Ah!
Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett.
I beg your pardon!
Objection!
In cursive! This is beyond ridiculous! Fabricated nonsense! Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Brings a good point.
Hold it!
But Hosonaga can just... Right here it is. Hosonaga got a speech bubble. I wonder if he's gonna be like a recurring character. They gave him a speech bubble. This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I stole the plate. In the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, mean and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you'd been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. This guy's great, 10 out of 10. He was originally a sus boy. He's trying real hard. I appreciate it. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it, now! Don't let her break it this time.
Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate for the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir! Sorry for the delay. Here is what you ordered. The steak. Beef steak.
Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't! Quickly, Inspector! The blood band! Show the court!
Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. That's not the right plate. But no, that's impossible! That's not the right plate. I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy!
Ooh.
You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you!
Man, this lady's making me say some stuff I'm not comfortable with.
Ah! I couldn't agree more! In the case of this disgrace to the Empire, I believe we have finally reached the conclusion of this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals all the facts too clearly. If the sorry-looking the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
All right, we entered the steak into the court record. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Just believe in yourself, Ryunosuke, it's gonna be fine. Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. Yeah, why do we keep putting stuff in the court record and not looking at it? Ah, S hits the different actual page. Ah, that's what it is. Alright. We're gonna inspect that. Oh! Bro, we found the coin. Yeah, I think, was Steven half right the whole time? I know in the comment, episode 1, Steven was saying, Steven with a PH, that the soldier stole the coin to pay because he needed money for child support. I think this is the officer's steak, because it doesn't look like it's the right steak. Huh? What the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin, and the hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it? I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of... I'm not even gonna acknowledge that. We're moving on. And I don't think you'll ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. And it's from the Hoei era, too. That would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in the juices as well. Look. What? Are you thinking of eating it? No, but the next time I order steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's going to be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I don't know, Ryunosuke. You might get life in prison if this doesn't go very well. So you might not be eating steak ever again. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. A Koban coin underneath the steak? There's only one logical explanation. This is the wrong steak.
As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection?
Yes. That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? There's another clue. Duh. Your Excellency, please, wait! This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak! Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Ms. Bratz, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency.
counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is the new clue to be found?
Got it!
What? Oh, no. 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 So was it not? Alright, so I got life in prison. That's very unfortunate. Let's try that again. Very unfortunate. Let's retry. Start of the current scene? Hold on. Yeah, let's try from the scene, I'm assuming. If not, I'll just load where I saved. Yeah, alright. Alright, I'm examining the steak again, because apparently that was just not correct. Let's examine the steak. There's an emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? No! It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beef steak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is the symbol of La Carnival, is it? About the juice. Alright. Alright. Did I click maybe too far on the edge? I was trying to click on the edge to signify pulling up the steak. Let me try here. Oh, wait. I didn't go all the way back. I read this. No. Oh my god, the meme again. Oh, wait.
Got it!
Good gracious, that's... Koban? What on earth?
Ahoy, everyone! At that! Miss Brett! This is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on that day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up!
Alright, I'm just not sure where this is going anymore. What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could have simply been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right, it can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency,
Yes, Counsel?
A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Attention!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyways.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it's you who is irrelevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here. Man, I just want to slam the table. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. I don't remember the old guy's voice.
The owner?
Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beef steak is... No, not Sato. Kiryu Korekta. He's looking for his lost Koban.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasute, Kiryu Korekta-san.
Cutie? As in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Says Giselle Brett.
Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct?
Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed! The Hoei Koban, my prize coin! That is Hoei Koban. Do you mean to tell me?
Attention!
No! Please, why would Korekta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense!
Yes!
Yes! Which is why I'm asking to bring Korekta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him.
Officer! Bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here! Without a moment's delay!
I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in this case. Couldn't you just look at both steaks that he collected for blood?
Oh, I have the shakes. Oh. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize it's dinner time for little baby Idol? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police, we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witnesses. And when cast from this courtroom, myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasute shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Korekta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, have you ever seen this Koban? Whoa! Yes, that's it! The one! The very one! That exact one it is! The resplendent, splendiferous Hoei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day! It can't be!
As I thought.
Young man! Enlighten this decrepit old fool! Put me out of my misery! Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Sandwich? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my Hoei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing?
Good question. Excuse me? Could I say something? Yes, of course.
Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga.
I mentioned this earlier on the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
That dude's not looking stressed at all. Not at all. Totally not getting his neck yanked by his child. Probably actually his mafia boss. Got Benjamin buttoned. Le Carnaval is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
Wicked crimes indeed.
We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Correctus-san's Koban is all too clear.
What?
What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Correctus-san's Koban and hid it under the steak?
Yes and no, sir.
Take that!
Take that! Obviously. It can only be you. Sergeant Iesonosa! What? How? How dare you? You monster! Monster? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of Le Carnaval, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me! It was Ido! Ido's the mastermind behind all of this! Bruh. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa! Got him. That was a big back crack. Maybe the kid is evil. I don't even know how to react to this. Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Yasunosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir! Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages for the Nippon Imperial Army pays those expects to keep our country safe?
I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes?
All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son! That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money! Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target! And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time! Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, no, sir. It was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable fancy thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened.
Some dude had the audacity to get shot, and I botched my operation.
Yes, when the professor was shot.
I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the cord in my pocket, I'd be finished. I know too.
I don't think they're arresting the baby.
So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
Everyone's just deadpan right now. This is ridiculous. I agree with the talking head in the gallery.
Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time. I'm trying to go to tea time.
Well, Miss Brett.
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. Oh, my goodness. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all.
Good thing you don't get to make that decision, huh?
May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency.
Indeed. The theft of the Cobalt was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it?
Well, oof.
Oof.
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
That's what she's personally offended by.
Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Wait, no.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone.
Somebody stop her.
And good day.
No, stop her. Ryunosuke just said, why I oughta... Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. No, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. And I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Bro, you better rip the loudest objection of your life right now. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. Alright, let me scream objection far from the microphone. Momentarily.
Objection!
Hold it!
Oh, no.
Hold it!
There we go. Wait, Miss Brett! Miss Brett, come back!
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about?
What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke?
Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction.
We're going to need to see evidence, counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it?
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, wait, how do I go back? Oh, was. Right? No. Oh, so I can only go this way. Okay. Let's look at that.
YOLO!
Take that!
A photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred.
What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table.
The steak that Miss Brent had been eating before the professor was killed, yes. Go on.
More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs! Oh, she's straight up just steak swapped.
Okay. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see that you've noticed it too, Miss Brett.
Notice what exactly, Counsel?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could have even contemplated picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Then take a good look at the steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. That's a bite mark. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there.
Ah! Oh! Ah!
Looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry!
Ooh. Not new animation.
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, of course. This will all be over in a blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just I've heard enough, you irritating little spectacled samurai relic! Of course, dear lady!
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Oh, Kazuma's great, dude. Meme lord, meme lord. She's got a swan on her head. Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications those teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes. Now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with the cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I guess the guns are just low tech. This bullet just doesn't go through.
I accept that these teeth marks in a steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Shut up! Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
Why is she making me be racist? How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been? What?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd! The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be! I don't believe you have it!
Objection!
I don't. There's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well, I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair?
No, wrong button. I pressed T instead of R.
Take that!
Take that! The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. My man's not okay. No. I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks.
Yes.
Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Correcta-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, cadet! I'm a superior officer!
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak?
Attention! Affirmative, of course! I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still! I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it!
In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table!
Objection!
Yet, the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it! To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire!
You know, you can accuse me of murder, but don't accuse me of stealing some coin relic. I'm not a thief, I'm just a murderer. There's a difference.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Steak swap. Just like wife swap with steak.
Exactly! Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over!
No, she switched it. He's like, I didn't do that. Oh, sorry, I forgot. His princess English gentlewoman who all she does is insult him, could do no wrong. I forgot, sorry.
You did switch the plates!
Oh, he did switch the plates. He switched the plates. Okay. Alright. I would have thought she swapped it, but whatever.
Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have! I never saw you do such a thing! It was called Operation Lightning Bolt! There was no time for strategic planning! It was do or die, I tell you! So yes, I did what had to be done! Unbelievable! However, fear not, prosecutor-son! What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform! That's all I did, sir! All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant!
Yes!
Yes! So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
Yes, that follows.
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you'd taken both.
Ah!
Ooh, she's about to lose it. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
Ooh. This is a new pursuit. Ooh. Oh, this is fire. It just auto-saved because I was taking too long. Alright, we... We're almost at the end of the loop. This is a top-tier pursuit.
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon?
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you. No?
You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Just thinks he remembers.
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beef steak and the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you. Here is the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look.
Yes!
Yes. Now, this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it is impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
Ah! It can't be!
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! The goose died. The swan died. No. It's unfortunate.
Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No! 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 Yeah!
There's chickens falling out. Oh, there's a black one. That's cute. There's some yellow ones. There's a black one. Excuse me? Excuse me, miss! They're so cute. They chirp. Oh my goodness. They chirp. They're chirping. Oh my god, they're so cute. They're chirping. Why are they chirping?
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure.
You gave birth to chickens.
Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using cure air. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because cure air is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I'd ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone. And I'd leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
That would be me, I suppose.
Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over and greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of cure air in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Told you, she has a lot of places to hide a pistol. She's got a lot.
Under your skirt?
That's what he pays attention to. Oh, under your skirt, miss? You got something under your skirt, miss? Sorry, I was just looking. Streamlabs is doing acting a little weird in the background. Alright, let's continue. So I was right, there were two guns.
Yes.
And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it.
And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I had intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up,
that's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead.
Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn to the professor and his chair around.
because, of course, we needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Girl. A little more than that. It's a little more than that. Your Excellency?
Yes?
I wonder... might I speak with you in private later? So you can poison me? Nah.
I shall call on you.
What? Thank you. Good day then, everyone. She just confessed the murder. You're just gonna let her walk away? I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
This can't be! Takatsuchi Hachi does not lose! Not to the likes of this rookie student! You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo!
What, yes?
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten!
You've become conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. He's so good. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. That's true. We do absolutely take a dump on Winston Payne's family in every game. Every tutorial trial just gets absolutely donked on.
This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits. What it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Osogi.
Yes.
After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you.
Ooh, the mission. Infiltrating the British government. Heck yeah. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. But I thought we were best friends. Why would you tell me?
As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo,
Oh, yes!
in you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke looking fresh, though.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo,
Not guilty. Thank you. Ooh, we have cherry blossoms falling instead of confetti. Oh, that's gorgeous.
This court is now adjourned.
Clink. What's hilarious is that in-game it's been about an hour and like 35 minutes. And actually, it's been about that time here in the video. Because we started like 1:10 something, right? I think so. I'll have to go back and check once I'm editing. But that's actually pretty cool. 22nd of November, 2:46 p.m. this time. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber number 5. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No. It was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget.
Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off.
Oh, it's Susanto.
Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. He worked hard for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do any.
Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report of Ms. Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be from my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Ah, yes, of course.
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susanto Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Speaking of Mikotoba...
Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order.
This is the voice I thought it was the first time.
Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend?
Oh yes.
Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Invited him to his death. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson?
Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before.
Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot.
I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. The Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. It cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder.
Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but...
What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all.
She'll be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai.
What? Shanghai?
Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that.
What? Why not? Who's this voice? Question marks. Oh, is this Von Zeeks? Is our introduction to Von Zeeks? This is a voice I'm gonna need to use a lot, if so. It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. It's not. Oh, it's this guy. It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice? The British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty.
Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right.
Then so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that.
Oh, can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan? I'm afraid that for the young students, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it.
The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves.
Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it.
Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink.
But Professor... You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival?
I'd be traumatized if I was Ryunosuke.
As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink.
You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? He's really into this roleplay. He's really into it.
Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor?
Of course! La Carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh, yes. Thank you. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today. Ha 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 ha! I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that.
Huh?
To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean.
Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. Trust me, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I just did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you.
That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Trust. Trust. Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe in what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending somebody. Sometimes, in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you faced seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What's... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga! I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go! Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Yes, that too. I really hope we just ship him off overseas and we don't kill him in the next trial. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Ooh, we finished up trial number 1, you guys. Ooh, achievement unlocked, defense debut. Yes, I'd like to save the game, please. Yes, please. Oh man, so in this first trial, we actually died. We actually got a guilty verdict. So, got that out of the way. You guys see what happens when you take all the penalties. I still think that last one, I clicked on the edge as to be able to pick up the stake, but you needed to click on the middle. And of course, don't forget, in episode 2, I did accidentally present something when I was just trying to go through the keys, and didn't mean to do that. So I take kind of responsibility, but not quite, for that death there. But you know what? We got it out of the way. We died once. I was almost expecting there to be an achievement, to be honest, just for messing up there, getting your first death or something. But when we get back here next time, we'll be getting into episode 2, The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band, Investigation, Part 1. So, what most likely will happen is we'll be having either somebody we know, a friend or something like that, because I don't think we're even an established lawyer yet, right? We're just in university. And they'll be under prosecution for something, and we'll have to go investigate crime scenes, see if we can find anything, talk to people perhaps. Not sure how investigation's going to work here, because of course there's no testing for fingerprints to my knowledge, there's no ballistic markings, there's no crazy stuff to look for, and based on that silhouette back there, probably be meeting Herlock Sholmes, and I'm thinking I'll give him the Kermit voice, because I have still been avoiding spoilers, but to my knowledge, he's a bit of an airhead. I saw a meme saying, It reminded me of that one like Sailor Moon meme where the mask guy says my work here is done and Sailor Moon says you haven't done anything. And I think it's just I've deduced this, and it's like you didn't deduce anything, bro. So I think he's going to be kind of an airhead, but I'm curious to learn more about him. He seems to have a really cool character design. Of course, I believe you guys can see him in the thumbnail. His name actually is Sherlock Holmes, but some U.S. copyright for Sherlock Holmes stuff hasn't expired yet. A lot of it has, but I think there's a few that's left. So his name is Sherlock Holmes. But this was super fun. Definitely glad to figure out what happened here. I love that it turned out that that one military guy did actually steal the coin. I was thinking that she switched the stake to get rid of the blood. I was assuming she had seen the blood, but it looks like that wasn't the case. So interesting with that. Very interesting to learn more about the poison. Can't believe I exposed myself for not being able to read. I'm sure some of you were like, Allie, it said wound. What are you looking at? I was thinking maybe I was reading too into it. I was like, oh, she's studying this, so that means she's studying an antidote. Maybe she preloaded herself with an antidote. So that wasn't the case, but I'm glad. I love it when cases I'm kind of figuring out what's going, but I definitely have to work along with everybody else in the game. You know, sometimes it's super fun to like catch something from a mile away, and there's been a couple times in the Ace Attorney series that I've been completely just blindsided by the truth, being the case. The final case of Spirit of Justice. You know, Apollo sad hours because Apollo literally cannot catch a break. He can't. I don't want to give too many spoilers. I know I've said some things, you know, like, oh, this guy's getting mid was my prediction in episode 1 for Cosmo. I certainly hope not. Hopefully the nice mentor best friend dude doesn't die in the second case of the game, so I really hope not. Hopefully we just ship him overseas, although I am worried. I know this game ends on a cliffhanger. Thankfully, we do have the next part right afterwards. The Case Attorney Chronicles, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, does have Game 1 and Game 2, the sequel. So I'm worried maybe something happens to him at the end of the game and we have to wait until the second game to find out. I would have hated to have like a year, 2 year, whatever the wait time was between releases to figure that out. But very excited to see what's going to happen here in case number 2, our first real deep case of the game. So this was considered like very short. I know, almost 6 hours worth of play here in this one case, but I am pretty slow with these games. I like inspecting stuff. I like pressing all the statements, even though there's like usually one clear one where you're like, oh, something's off here, press that one. I like seeing what they all have to say, expanding the lore of the game and things like that. Really hope that Cosmo's okay. Really hope I can figure out what voice to give Van Zeeks. I want to give him a deep voice, but I think Cosmo's the deepest I could go, so I really don't know what I'm going to do with that. Maybe I can put a spin on Cosmo if he does leave, and he's just not back. I can maybe give him an accent and do the deep voice. I mean, he's British. I don't know if I could do a deep British accent. Like I said, probably going to give Herlock her Kermit voice. Hey, Rianosuke, what do you think about this? You know, probably. I feel like I have the most experience with Kermit voice because I've been using it to just meme on myself for like the past 5 years. But I am very excited to continue with this game, so we'll also go back. I'm hoping that there were no issues with audio in this game. Not sure if maybe the computer just wants to take a break. I did see some points where it looks like the recording froze in the background. So I will be checking stuff out, and if there's any issues in this video, I do apologize. I can't go back and fix it, but I will pin a comment if I see any issues. But I definitely had a blast here, so I hope you did as well in this third episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to go ahead and hit that like button. Comments from me, drop those down below. And of course, if you're not yet part of the Allie's Treasure Trove family, I'd love to have you join us. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, before I wrap up this video, I do have to give a big shout out to all of my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so much, you all, for your above and beyond support. I really, truly do appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Do have 4 Ultimate Excavators, Jack Perez, Keith Muna, Mako, and Stephen Olivo, 2 Gemstone Miners, Andon and Stephen Bly, and 1 Crystal Collector of John Michek. But again, thank you so much to all of my patrons, whether on a tier in which I say your name at the end of every video or not. Really, truly appreciate your above and beyond support. But that will do it here for this first episode for me, most likely that I'm recording, but of course you're one episode of the day, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you for watching, everybody. Take care, and I hope you'll join me next time here on the Trove as we unearth some more mysteries here on Allie's Mystery Trove. Doesn't have as nice of a ring as Treasure on Allie's Treasure Trove, but hey, I'm very excited and very curious to see what lies ahead for us here in episode 2. Take care, everybody, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye!